Хорошо. Сейчас только напомни быстро один момент, что мы вас попросим назвать имя человека, как передать эстафету, да, что вы были просто готовы, да, к этому, и, может, у вас уже есть какая-то идея, с кем еще вы бы хотели поговорить на тему создательного общества и вообще про Исландию и так далее, да, то есть чтобы это не было у вас, для вас сюрпризом.
Сюрприз. Ну, как бы я видела, что Женя спросила, но я думаю, я потом подумаю, я не знаю, кого
Ну
пригласить.
все,
Поэтому,
Женечка сказала об этом, классно.
да, ну я не готова назвать человека. Не готова. Ну, я как бы я
Марин, а вот Евгения говорит Евгения?
Да, да.
Да, да. Давай уже все, уже стрим
Хорошо.
будем выключаться тут. Если что, в личку пишем.
ну, как бы я видела, что Женя спросила, но я думаю, я потом
Это
подумаю,
пошло
не
на
знаю, кого.
YouTube.
Да, ну я не готова назвать человека. Это значит, да, да, да.
Марин, а вот говорит Евгения? Greetings, dear friends. Today, according to our tradition, we continue our broadcasts and talk about the creative society. And many people talk about it in more than 180 countries. To realize this, we communicate through the rule of 6 handshakes and travel from continent to continent. And today with us, Julia, she is from Iceland.
Да, здравствуйте.
Yes, greetings. Thank you very much for inviting. I am ready to share the information about Iceland with you. And also I'd like to introduce my co-host. She's Alona. Greetings. Yeah, very beautiful beginning. And you have shown only very little part of our beautiful country. Yes, Julia, maybe you will tell us more about Iceland. What do you like about this country? Yes, of course. I have been living in this country since 2008, more than 12 years. I love this country very much. This adaptation was very quick here. Yeah, and it took me some time to learn Icelandic. It's one of the most difficult languages, but it is quite interesting. And the only thing that was difficult in the beginning, it was the language, and the rest was very simple, positive. And I offer you, if you have a wish and desire to visit this country, there is not a single person who has visited it and who was disappointed. It fulfills all the anticipations and expectations. I guarantee that the person who will visit this country will not regret. Yes, we know a lot of information about this country. It's a small country, but it's a special, unique, a lot of combination here. Here, for example, ice and fire, a lot of landscapes, natural sightseeings. And I would like to tell that today in our broadcast we have a social survey. All viewers can go to the link and answer the question what people know about Iceland, and in the end we will show this result, and we will find out what we know about Iceland, and our during this broadcast we will also know something new.
Ну, это
Thanks
самое
to
интересное твое,
uh,
вот движение, которое
Thanks to this movement, the Iceland became even more popular. That is why volcano stopped all the flights, but it made a good advertisement for our country, and it became more popular. And we had 300,000 tourists. And as I understand, a lot of people know about this country and where it is situated, thanks to this volcano. And what do you mostly like about this country, speaking about people's relationships, something special in local people? Or can you share? As for me, they are not very different from us, Slovenian countries. In general, it took me no time to adapt. There were no cultural differences, mentality, as people say, different mentalities. I can say that I understand them very well, and we are very, very much alike. The only thing that is special about Icelandic people, a person is in the center of everything, and everybody thinks about himself. I think for me it's more a positive feature that they don't have a special etiquette that I must do something. In comparison, that is a special feature, and if a person does not want to do it, for example, in comparison with us, if we know that it's polite to come, for example, lunch, lunchtime in a cafe somewhere, a person, if a person doesn't want, I can have another seat, and my hostess will not make me eat something. And in our culture, we have to eat something in order to communicate. And in Iceland, if I want to sit by myself, I don't have to sit with everybody. It doesn't mean anything special. And sometimes in their own world, and they may not greet other people, but it doesn't mean that they're unfriendly. It means that they're just in themselves and their thoughts, and it doesn't mean that they are impolite, that they have some problems with you. Everybody just lives in their own world. They are quite straightforward. They do not try to say something but mean a different thing. They don't try to be polite. They don't have such a feature. They understand that if a person has a date with an Icelandic guy, I'm telling about in general, people are different, but mainly. For example, in this cafe, when you come, I had such an experience. I know that in Iceland, there is the girl. It's normal if a girl pays for herself. Of course, if a guy invites you, that mostly he should pay. And I politely said that I will pay for myself, and he agreed. And he just agreed, and it was not something special. I didn't mean anything special about it, and I didn't have to explain myself or something. If I say that I will pay, he just agrees with it. It's just like straightforwardness, the openness, and it makes our communication simpler. And the only feature that took to adapt, that is a special feature that took me, that I should speak openly and straightforwardly. I should learn to do this.
Thank you very much. It seems like the people in Iceland are kind of free and respect other person. Yes, it's very free, non-stereotypical society. They don't like stereotypes. And I actually got rid of numerous stereotypes while living in Iceland. Like, for example, I have such like patterns that a man should do something first, but I was asked why, because nobody owes anything to anyone. Can you give any examples of mutual assistance when people come and give your helping hand at the moment when it's needed? Maybe they are ready to listen to your story, help you with something. Do you have any examples like that, which you have encountered by living in Iceland? I'm trying to recall some specific example, but I don't remember. But in general, I can say yes. You know, I don't. I even think that I cannot recall specific examples because in this country, anytime you need any assistance, any help, there are social programs which are quite well arranged. And of course, if it's friendly relationships, they always help each other and they communicate, they go to some clubs. But if it goes about some social, financial assistance or psychological help, the social services in Iceland are very good and they are working quite efficiently because globally I do not remember there was such a problem when I wanted to go to my friend and there were some problems with the friend when he came to this country, but social service helped him. But basically, I cannot imagine a situation in Iceland when you need anything and you don't get help because these people are very, understandable and understanding, and they are ready to help. And of course, if, for example, you have psychological programs, mostly psychological services available and function in countries where they're kind of well off. But here in our country, also the level of life is quite high, and of course they provide such services, but people are very open and ready to help. Great. Also, we know that you are a registered guide in Iceland and you conduct tours, know a lot of things, very interesting sightseeing places, and you talk about it to your tourists. You share your love for this country with everyone who comes to Iceland. So we would like to know from you regarding the sightseeing places, what are the best, the closest for you? I guess you like everything, but our designers have prepared several collages, and it would be very interesting for you to comment on these images so that our viewers know what is shown on the screen. Please, technical support, could you bring the collage onto the screen? I can hardly see. It's difficult to see. Will it be on the screen later? In order to make it on the screen, you have to scroll your smartphone and enlarge the mainstream picture. A little bit far, but I can see. You can do 2 clicks. Yeah, now I see it. So here it's, quite popular classical tourist attractions. Classical because like a church, the famous church. We once were laughing that when there was this volcano eruption, And many reporters on the news, they couldn't name this church because the name is quite difficult. They started to call it a little bit in a simplified manner because it's a difficult Icelandic name. Why I could recall this case? Because it's quite a complex name, which consists of 3 logical words. But this church, I think it's the most difficult Icelandic word. I've hardly learned to pronounce it, but it is really famous church, and it is really famous attraction. It is located in Reykjavik, the capital city, and this church can be like it's a sign place, because basically you can see this building, this church from any place in Reykjavik. This ship is always called the Viking ship, but basically it's not the ship of Vikings, but it's the solar wanderer, whatever it is called. But this solar wanderer, it's like a dream for it's like a ship of dream for the god of the sun. It's like about the dream. There is an implication that further you go, there are some other countries, some other discoveries, and many interesting things. Because this is an isolated island, and Iceland is an isolated island, and Icelandic people are always interested in what is located somewhere far from them. This ship symbolizes a hope for new life and for new discoveries. But some people, most people think that it's just a Viking ship. There are some interesting figures or figurines, like a human with his arms stretched above. It's like a person who's open to new horizons, new discoveries, trying to new countries. This is the Reykjavik city. Then there is another little city, and the Ashes mountain, which we can see in the picture. And this is done for hiking, mountain hiking. And it takes about 1 hour to go up this mountain to a very famous stony place. And very, very nice, wonderful views over Reykjavik and from that mountain, if you ascend it. It is very beautiful, and it is for free. Then below we can see these little hobbit houses with green roofs. It looks like the horse museum, the school horse museum. It's a nice museum. And there you can see how ancestors of Icelandic people live. These are quite small houses, but basically there is such information that people used to be smaller in size, their bodies used to be smaller, so the houses were smaller. And the last picture on the right below, it is the city in the southern shore of the Iceland. And there is this big rock with rocks in the sea. These rocks are called the fingers, or the troll's fingers, or troll's arm, troll's hand. In this little city, there is black sand beach. Very nice, very beautiful. And the 40 degrees video was filmed in this place because it is really picturesque. Great. We also have another collage. Technical support will now bring it on the screen. They will also have several attractions here. Now we have natural attractions. It's nature, yes. Highlands, it's a part with higher mountains in the Iceland. There are crater lakes, and this area is located in the east part of the island.
Потом справа водопад, это
Then on the
наш
right
музей
there is
находится
this
рядом.
waterfalls.
Возле музея там, кстати, недалеко находится. И
It's not far
есть
from the
beautiful
place
street.
where I
I
live,
will
and
show you. Тоже можете посмотреть, там он достаточно красиво снят, понятно.
it's a very,
Вот.
very
И
nice
там
picture,
можно
very
этот
nice
водопад
view.
посмотреть тоже как ниже
And
подойти, и
if
также
you go there,
относительно
you
лодки
can even approach these waterfalls, go up or go up the hill and see it from above,
Да,
which is
потом
very
это
beautiful
гейзеры, вот
place and
слева
beautiful
ниже,
location. These are
это ниже
geysers
гейзеры, когда вы идете
in the
немного на
left.
юг, обязательно, конечно же, заезжаете в
When you
гейзеры.
follow in the golden ring in Iceland,
Там, где вот эти
you
пещеры,
go
это на
pass
сторону
by these
пещеры
geysers, and you see when you
пляжа Черный песок,
when you see
южная
this
часть.
cave, these
Вот,
are
и
close to
уже
the beaches with the
там,
black
где
sand,
below us,
and
это Glacier
what you
лагуна,
see on the right
юго
below, it's the ice
я не знаю,
lagoon.
я не знаю, все должны
These
посетить,
are
обязательно,
glaciers
когда
I've
бываете,
never.
единственное, что
These are the places which should
высокогорье,
be
если кто там ездит
visited because this
самостоятельно или арендует машину,
highland.
это нужно внедорожник.
For example, I rent a car
Все
to
остальное
go
можно
there.
на автобусе, кого
Everything else can be visited with via public or normal transportation means.
И это вообще там малюсенькая часть.
And it's a real pleasure, real happiness, and a real part that you can see there.
Достаточно,
Eh,
когда вы идете в тур,
As you see, it's almost the same pretty much as you see
всё
on
есть
these
на
photos.
это очень долго чтобы проехать, но
There are quite many sightseeings in one place, so you don't have to move a lot from one place to another.
на картинках на двух коллажах
On these two photos, you have seen the southern part of this country that you can see there. Yeah.
Вы были в Исландии?
Have you been to Iceland?
Нет, мы не были.
No, we haven't.
Наша подруга, помните,
But our friend was, as you remember, we have discussed it. Yes, she mentioned very warm things about it. She was amazed, impressed that you don't have to lock the houses when just outside of Reykjavik, far from the city. There are no locks, so you come to other people without any invitations. It's just a natural thing that somebody will come to another person to have a pleasant conversation. And local people organize always something every weekend. And it's if there is especially good weather, nobody is at home. And when there was this coronavirus, the Iceland, I would say, yes, there were many cases. And as I am a guide, I did not travel so much around the Iceland during this quarantine, this coronavirus quarantine. Local people traveled around a lot in this country. There are a lot of places, and nobody met anybody. The distances to meters was not difficult to preserve. Yeah, local tourism was developed. Local people are very interested to know the places where they live. Before, Icelandic people asked me, they asked me where it was when they saw photos from my profile. But now, as I see, for many Icelandic people, it was a good way of rest. They saw many interesting places in their country, and I see that they travel a lot nowadays, and they know their country better. They go to places which they wouldn't go before. So, and now I find out more and more about this country, and Icelandic people started to travel around more and more. And the touristic business outside of Reykjavik is on an appropriate level now, because Icelandic people book hotels and they try to support the tourism, and our country authorities also support our motivation to travel around. and they really support us and support
Спасибо
tourist
вам
business.
большое за
Thank you
рассказ.
so much for this story, for
Интересно
this
было послушать
information.
про Исландию
It was
очень.
very interesting to know about
Сейчас мы
Iceland.
переходим к следующей
And
части
now we
эфира и
go
хотим
to
спросить
another
вас,
part of our
каким
program, and we
вы
would like
видите
to ask,
созидательное
how do
общество,
you
в
see
котором
creative
каждому человеку было
society
бы жить
where
счастливо и
every
комфортно?
person can
Вот
live
скажите,
happily
пожалуйста.
and
И также,
comfortably?
может, вы
And
также
maybe
поделитесь своим
you will
пониманием,
share
как вы
your
видите медицину и
understanding of
образование.
how you see medicine and education in the creative
Ну,
society.
знаете,
You know,
в принципе,
generally speaking, in our country,
момента, который я вот могу сказать,
uh,
я бы сказала, что это достаточно
I would say that this creative society in Iceland is exists already. That is because in general, creativity means to develop in a better side, in a positive side. And Icelandic society is creative. As for medicine and education, education should be affordable, as in Iceland. Generally speaking, here, those who want to study, it is not difficult at all. The price is acceptable. Those who want to study, they can. And for me, the education should be affordable. If a person wants to study, and the healthcare, it also should be affordable. We have the system of insurance, and the part of these services is covered by the government. By the way, there is an example. Several years ago, Icelandic people drew attention to the fact that children started to come to dentist with a problem, and they drew attention to this problem. Icelandic people started to talk about it, and now the government made a decision that children under 18, they will get these services of a dentist free of charge, and children started to visit doctors. Yeah, it's more like a preventive measures that they have nowadays. And now we don't have this problem anymore. And as for me, healthcare should be appropriate, as in Iceland. So the government listens to people, and people can raise a question that disturbs them, and it will be considered. Yes, exactly. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Maybe because there are not so many and they're quite a mobile society that it's possible to deal with many things at a time. It's not exactly about it, but I know what kind of people they are. They are quite serious about if we have to discuss any question, they treat it quite seriously. Thank you so much. Thank you. And as for working conditions, maybe you have your understanding how working conditions should look like for benefit of people in the society where a person will not worry that he doesn't have enough money to buy some food, and he will worry about his family and children, maybe social support, how it works in, how does it work in Iceland, working conditions to make it overall in all countries in the globe, for people to live comfortably, and they will not worry that we'll have some basic needs, basic worries. As for basic needs, I faced this problem myself nowadays in this point when we have this coronavirus, or as I work in the sphere of tourism, That is why when tourists stopped coming, and I was worried how I will survive, and the government made such a decision that there is social support. But it is, of course, not a utopia that Icelandic government helps everybody, but it is organized in an appropriate way here. There are some labor groups, and they help financially. If you lost your job, you don't have to worry a lot because you have the right to go to the labor community to get some benefit because of unemployment, social support, as I understand. This service, and you will get, according to this particular example, you will get, I don't quite remember how much. I will not name the sum, but 80% of your salary. For the first, you will get this help for the first 3 months, and then the society will want to make you work, and in the next month you will get a little bit less, and then less again, and the maximum period that you can get this support is 3 years. There are particular deadlines that you get this unemployment help, but if you need this help, you know that you will be supported. That is why the government helps, supports, and if the situation is unusual and it special and does not correspond to standard laws, you go to a special service, and the officer will help to help you this question. And as I deal with also translations, so that is why I go to social services quite often, and I got a lot of information from these translations. There are many examples. Yes, and I can say that social services help a lot, and they even provide you, or maybe some people who live in Iceland does not know about it. But for example, if you don't know language, the state gives you a translator free of charge. And when I came, I didn't know about it. That is why it was very good motivation for me to know about to learn this language.
It's very interesting and such a good example that, you know, in creative society, such points will be implemented at the local level. Like there will be a society of happy people who will do what they like, what they enjoy, and they will be socially supported. What is your opinion? How important is it to talk on these topics, such as creative society, and know the opinion of people from various countries, various continents? In your opinion, is it really important to discuss? I think it is very important because, you know, living in Iceland, I can also share this information, for example, with other people, and it is important because there are many certain little points which are not really difficult to resolve for the society. These points could probably help other, and they actually don't cost anything. That's why it's very important to share information, first of all. Another point is that I already talked, when I talked to Alona before the broadcast, I mentioned that I was impressed, really impressed in orphanages in Iceland. This is really amazing, because if a child does not have parents, basically there are no orphanages as such as in other countries, because often children, they don't have parents, they live with other families, they go to adopted families, foster families. And it was kind of, you know, amazing for me that there are no orphanage houses as such in Iceland, and all children are taken care of. You know, Icelandic people really love taking care of everything. I don't know the exact statistics, but it's about there are about
Да, это
2.5
прекрасный пример,
kids,
когда
adopted
живут нет
kids
детских
per
домов,
family
и
in
дети
Iceland. Yeah,
наши,
it's a
да, и вот
wonderful
точно
example
так
that
же
there are
это же
no
можно и
orphanages
глобально
in
посмотреть на
Iceland
это.
and
То
all
есть
people are
по всему миру
ours.
огромное
Like,
количество
and we
детей,
can look
да,
at this
и они же все
globally.
наши. То есть мы как
Around the
одна
world,
большая
we have a
семья, и наш
tremendous
дом —
number
это
of
планета,
kids,
да,
and
Земля.
actually, we have a
Когда
one
нет
big family all
чужих,
over
то
the
есть мы
planet,
все
and
как
there are
одно,
no
и
strangers. We are all
поэтому
one. That's
очень-очень
why
Они очень
надо
добрые,
быть.
да. Они
it's
искренне такие.
indeed
Мой
really
ребенок, он
important
не
and
тому,
really
чтобы
interesting.
выучиться, он
Yes,
ходит писать или в школу.
there are no cases in our
Как бы
country
это
that
настолько
a
там
kid doesn't want to go to
заслушивается, то есть
school
опять-таки это
because,
не так, что родитель ушел, а
you
и там
know,
уже какие-то начинаются там разговоры, обучение.
of
Нет,
course,
все очень вот любят здесь, все
like for
только
example, a
уважают
child
детей.
doesn't
То
want
есть
to do
детский
anything and they
сад
have
уже
he has
ребенок
arguments with his
спрашивает
parents.
мнение, что
No,
он хочет, поэтому
in
в
this
принципе я тоже
country,
могу сказать
parents
без
ask their children their
не
opinion.
могу ему
They ask what
пойти против
kids
его воли. Если
want,
он не
what they
хочет идти
prefer,
заниматься,
and they
то
never
мы это не
break or
можем
violate the will of a child.
принуждать это сделать. Также насчет
And
детей.
nobody forces him
Да,
to
то есть
do
уважать
anything.
все-таки личность.
They really, Icelandic people really
Маленькая, или это
respect
уже
personalities, no matter whether it's
тоже
a little kid or
прислушиваются,
grown
как
up.
он относится к своему
They
мнению.
try to listen and
Да.
respect everyone's
Вообще, вот
opinion. That's
есть
true.
общее, я помню, даже такое какое-то вот на международном уровне,
You know,
Исландия,
at the international level, as far as I remember,
лого, что ли, что мы все равны.
there is
Как бы
kind of a
равенство во
logo,
всем.
Icelandic
И
logo, that
самое
we
главное
are
для
all
исландца —
equal.
равенство во всем.
Нет никого выше, ниже.
Да,
And there
да,
is
да.
no one above us.
Да,
Yeah,
это
exactly.
Особенно
Exactly.
сегодня, если даже есть какие-то,
Especially
вы знаете,
nowadays,
такие люди с какими-то категорическими
you know,
взглядами,
if
они
there are
очень
some
сильно
people with
сталкиваются,
kind of
потому что
radical
общество
opinions,
настолько
they are not
цивилизованное, вот,
supported actually
осознанное,
because
да,
the
в этих
Icelandic society is
вопросах,
civilized
просвещенное,
and
что
quite
ли, в этих
special,
вопросах
and
равенства,
I would say
что
even
все люди человеку
enlightened in
какие-то,
those
никто
kind of
просто не советует,
issues.
даже если он что-то
So
говорит
such
такое,
any radical opinions or expressions will not be supported in Iceland.
работал с мужчиной, который
For example,
я
I
знаю, который
worked
ну,
with a
который
man
пожилой, в общем, у него такие консервативные
who
взгляды,
was, it was an elderly man with conservative views,
и, значит, у них там на работе был
and
парень тоже, но темнокожий. Это
and
абсолютно
there was a guy working in
абсолютно
this company who was
видно, но вот этот
totally black
мужчина, и он говорит,
skinned,
знаете, темнокожий
but
парень,
this
нам говорит, да, и вот мой знакомый
and
парень,
they talked in
мужчины все
English.
слушают, и вот этот пожилой мужчина,
They
он
had
сказал какую-то
lunch, and
шутку
this
своему
elderly
знакомому,
man
моему знакомому.
kind of
То есть
joked
он
in
хотел
Icelandic
подшутить,
language
вот, что
to
знаете,
my
ничего плохого
acquaintance.
не
He
было,
wanted
какая
to
разница,
kind of a
какая это
joke, make
разные
fun of
большинства,
this
значит,
black-skinned guy.
и равенство. И этот исландец, мой друг, он его абсолютно не
And this
поддержал, и он
Icelandic
просто
friend
сказал,
of
что
mine,
это
he didn't
больно
support
спрашивать,
this
что
man
не нужно. Поэтому, да,
and just
более
asked
молодое
him
поколение
kindly not to
настолько уже
joke
осознанно в
like
этих
that.
вопросах,
So
что
the younger
практически они не
generation, they
жалуются.
are
Вот
more
уже
like
его кто за
conscious in
какими-то
these
консервативными
issues,
старыми взглядами,
and
они их пересматривают и просто
they
не устраивают. Ну,
those who have conservative views, they try
Ну вот
to
для меня
revise
еще
them
нормально.
because
такой,
it's
да, такой
just not
момент важный,
topical right now.
что, ну,
Yeah, it's a very important point that
новое поколение, оно же растет и берет
the new
пример, да,
generation
с
is
родителей, с
growing and
учителей,
following the
ну, с
example of
окружения, да. То
parents,
есть
of
насколько это
teachers,
важно
of those people who are around. So
показывать,
it's
да,
very
правильные
important
примеры,
to
самому,
show the
то
right
есть меняться,
examples
самому
and
быть
to
человеком,
change on
и
your
тогда
own
и
to
новое
be a real
поколение будет
human.
брать с этого
And
пример и,
this
соответственно,
way,
будет
new generations will follow such example, and the society will be more adequately developed. Yes, I
А
like it
скажите,
here in
пожалуйста, вот
Iceland, all these principles.
как каждый из нас
And could you
сейчас, вот на
please
своем
tell
месте,
us
прямо
how
сегодня,
every
прямо
one of
сейчас,
us, like
вот что
right
может
now,
сделать каждый
today, and now,
человек, чтобы
what can we
это
do, every person
создательное
can do
общество, да,
in
стало
order for
реальностью
this
и
creative
чтобы училось
society to
жить,
become
как
a
по-другому,
reality,
вы
and
считаете?
so that we
Наверное, вот
already
уже,
live in such a society?
наверное, вот
What should
скорее
we
всего,
actually
да,
do?
вот эта классика, что относиться и к
I
другому так, как
think
ты хотел бы относиться к себе, и
it's a
поступить точно
classical
так же, и
approach
заниматься,
to
да,
treat
твоя
all
свобода,
people and
наверное,
everyone you know the way
потому
they
что,
want
знаете,
to
на
be
самом деле
treated.
ставить свободу другого человека, то есть как бы уважать
If you respect and
близкого,
treat
его,
properly another
да, мне
person,
кажется,
your
вот это
neighbor, your
просто
close
классика.
person, This, I think, if everyone would
это
act like
действие
this
внутреннее,
would be
да, то есть
enough, at least for the
самому.
beginning. So you
Да.
mean
Знаете,
this
вот вы
inner
знаете,
action?
они
Yes.
достаточно
You know,
эгоистичны, но это очень
In
хорошо, потому
Iceland,
что
they're
они
quite
понимают, что
egoistic, but it's
этот
kind
человек
of
просто
good
ставит себя
because
выше
people
того же
understand
хочет,
that
поэтому
other
как это
people
называется, такой
also
здоровый
want
эгоизм,
something and they are
да.
the same. I would call it healthy egoism.
Да, да, да.
So they kind of respect the needs of another person. Yes. Yeah, they respect what another person wants.
Мгм.
Yeah, that's
Да, ну, я
right.
же говорю, я просто могу гарантировать, что когда вот кто будет
As
писать,
I
и, ну, я не
said,
знаю,
I can guarantee you that in
неудобные
Iceland,
моменты, здесь настолько всё
I don't know,
комфортно,
such
и, да,
inconvenient moments,
такая
you
открытая
always,
страна,
in
очень
communication or
теплая.
whatever, you
Это
always
противоречие
feel
с Исландией,
yourself
скажем так,
convenient.
да,
It's a
она
cordial
езда и огня,
country
но
because this is
здесь
kind of,
много
a
противоречий, вот
contradiction
таких
in this country because it's a
слов,
cold
но они
climate,
настолько вот, да,
but
строгие, добрые,
very warm,
даже таких
and
внешне
they are
видных,
so
я
kind.
слышала
These
много
people are
людей,
not
говорят, что
severe like their climate.
сурово выглядят исландцы, но вы когда начинаете с ними говорить, они
Somebody
настолько
says
добрые,
that
они
Icelandic
продолжают
people
такими
look
серьезными
severe,
выражениями
but
лица,
when they
будут с
start
вами
talking,
общаться. То есть нету вот
they
этого
are
вот, да,
kind of
этого
get this,
социального,
their faces light
нет, они
up,
просто
and they
искренне
are so kind,
помогают,
they are
пытаются
so
говорить,
vivid,
да.
they're very sincere in
Вот, потому что
helping
язык он такой немножко
others.
грубоватый, но добрый.
Although Icelandic language sounds like
Не
a little
припомню
bit,
никакого
but
исландца, да, вообще
basically
негативного.
there is nothing
Социально
negative in
либерального.
it.
У нас было голосование, да, такой социальный опрос, что наши
We
зрители
had a little
знают
social
Исландию.
surveys in the beginning of our broadcast and asked our viewers what they know about Iceland.
Интересно.
And I would kindly ask our technical support to show the results on the screen so that we all discuss what people
Да,
know
гейзеры.
about Iceland.
Что мы видим?
Could you please comment?
Гейзеры, природа,
Here we can
вулканы.
see geysers, volcanoes,
Да,
ices,
мы знаем, известно из
glaciers,
природы, и у нас
nature.
здесь
Of course,
то есть,
nature in Iceland is amazing, and
как называется, вот эта главная компания,
how do you
Министерство
call it?
туризма, вот,
This
да,
main company, the
где
Ministry of
посещают
Tourism,
эти
so to
опросы, и
say,
результаты, конечно, всегда, почему приезжают в Исландию, да, наверное,
they
90% даже больше, это
you know,
природа.
according to any statistics, the nature is the greatest attraction in Iceland, even for tourists.
Да, поэтому добро пожаловать в
That is
Исландию.
why
Исландия
welcome to
So,
открыта,
Iceland.
welcome to
конечно, пока еще
Iceland. It
ограничения
is
немножко
open
есть,
country.
что открыто для стран
It is
Евросоюза.
open to all people of European Union.
Да, мы скоро, может быть,
Maybe soon
приезжать
we will have
Ну, в
some
принципе,
tourists.
надо просто узнавать, да.
In general, you should just know in the embassy
Ну, да,
what you
когда
need
делаешь.
to get in order to get to Iceland.
Исландия уже давно открыта.
But Iceland is an open country. And I also we would like to ask you how it sounds in Icelandic. How I support
Да,
creative
одну секунду, я
society.
поддерживаю.
Just 1 second. I support.
Я так посмотрю, это
Just
слово
a
«привлекательное
second.
для исландца».
I don't quite remember the word creative in Icelandic.
Естественно, skapande samhälle. Естественно, skapande samhälle. Estetiskt skapande samhälle. Да.
Ух ты.
Yeah. Cool.
Да.
Очень красиво, кстати,
Very
звучит.
beautiful. It sounds
Да,
very
есть.
beautifully.
Это я поддерживаю. Skapande samhälle. Это бездательное
It
общество.
means creative society.
Спасибо
Cool.
вам
Thank you so
большое.
much.
Спасибо.
Вы
Thank
знаете,
you.
вот,
You
спрашиваем
know,
мнение
we
людей со всего
also
мира
ask
о проекте
opinion of
«Создать
many
общество», каким
people
они его
from
видят.
all around the globe, how
Мы
they
на
see
самом деле на
creative
практике
society.
реализуем теорию шестидневного
In
пожатия.
practice, we
И
realize the
скажите,
theory
пожалуйста,
of
Юля,
six
вот с кем
handshakes.
бы вы хотели встретиться
Tell us,
в следующих
Julia,
эфирах?
what
Мы можем
do
даже
you have
обсудить
any
эту тему
person who
создательного
you would like to
общества.
meet
Это
in
может
the
быть,
future, in
ну,
our
кто
future
угодно, знакомые,
broadcasts? It can be
друзья,
anybody, your
может, люди,
friend,
которых вы
acquaintances,
знаете по
just people
телевизору,
who you
но никогда
know,
не встречали, да?
but
А вот с
people
кем бы вы
you
хотели
saw on
пообщаться на эту
TV,
тему?
who you would like to communicate
На тему
with
создательного
on the
общества.
topic
Да.
of the creative society.
Да, нет, на тему
Yes,
просто как
the
вот
topic is creative
другие
society.
люди
How
видят
other
создательное
people
общество, узнать их
envision
мнение.
creative society to know their opinion.
Не знаю.
I don't know.
Это человек, которого вы
This is
хотите
a
пригласить, да,
person
как бы, то
who
есть,
you
или
could
это
invite.
звезда, вот,
A
Да, может быть,
star.
вы тоже
Yeah,
хотели
maybe
поучаствовать,
you would
и,
like to
может быть, этого же
participate
человека и опросить
and
вместе с
to
вами.
make a survey with
Ну,
this
это может
person.
быть вот ваш
It can be
знакомый
your
какой-то, и тоже будет
acquaintance,
интересно узнать,
and it would be interesting
возможно,
to
кто-то
know.
из коренных жителей
Maybe some
Исландии, да,
local
мы сегодня
people
так
could
много узнали, что
participate.
такие
We
они, ну,
found out a
открытые,
lot,
добрые, да,
and we
и
found out that they are
также у них
open
знать
and
даже какие-то
friendly.
моменты
Maybe
интересные
they
и про
will
Исландию,
share
да, и то, каким они
our
видят
how they
созидательное
see
общество,
creative
да, общество, в
society
котором бы
and
каждый
talk
человек
about
был бы
Iceland,
счастлив.
the society where
Да.
everybody can be
Вы
happy.
знаете, да, у меня
Yeah,
знакомая,
you
которая
know,
Юля,
my
также она
friend,
живет в
her name is
Исландии.
also Julia. She also lives in
Да,
Iceland. Yes.
было бы интересно знать ее мнение,
Maybe
потому
I
что
would
она
like to know her opinion because
тоже здесь. Не помню,
I don't know how
какой
many
месте
years
живет, но молодой
she
человек
has been living here.
компетентный.
I would like to know her
Это мое
opinion
мнение, а вот
because
как
it
она
is
это
my
видит.
opinion
И она
and it's
видит
interesting to know
немножко
how she
по-другому.
sees it.
Да,
Maybe she
я
sees it
думала,
in another way.
да, Юля,
So yes, Julia,
Отлично, значит,
я
будем...
вам,
that's great. So
да,
we will
полезно
invite
знать.
Julia.
Да.
Спасибо тоже вам
Thank you
большое,
so
и хотела
much.
сказать, что все
And I would
зрители,
like to
которые нас
know
сейчас
that all the
смотрят, да,
viewers who are watching us
каждый
now
может принять участие в
each can
проекте «Созидательное
participate in the
общество»
project
и
Creative
поговорить,
Society
ответить на
and talk
вопрос,
and
каким
answer
он его
how
видит, да, каким оно
how
должно
people
быть,
see
по его
this
мнению, или
Creative
просто зайти на
Society,
сайт АЛЛАТРА
and
Unites
just
и
go
нажать
to site
кнопочку
allatunites.com,
«Присоединиться». Мы тоже
click the
техническая поддержка
button.
потом выведет этот ролик.
Click the button, join us.
Вот.
Our
И
technical support will
интересно
show this
узнать мнение
site,
каждого
and we
человека,
would like to
абсолютно
know the
каждого
opinion
человека
of
на
each
планете.
person
И
on this
благодаря тому,
planet.
что у нас
And thanks
есть вот
to
эта теория, да,
this
шестерок рукопожатий,
theory
которую мы
of
реализуем на
6
практике,
handshakes that we
это
realize in
благодаря
practice, thanks
интернет-технологиям, которые
to internet
позволяют общаться
technologies
людям
that
из
allows
разных
us to communicate
континентов, да,
with people all around the globe.
чтобы тоже
Yes,
хотели
we would like
общаться.
to
Так что всех
communicate with
приглашаем.
them. With
Да,
you,
спасибо,
we
мне было очень
invite you.
приятно
Yes,
было
it was
с
very
вами
interesting
пообщаться.
to communicate with
Еще
you
и до эфира,
today.
когда мы
And
общались,
before
вы
our
достаточно
broadcast that we
позитивные,
communicated with,
светлые,
you
да,
are so positive, so light.
для меня было
It's really great. I enjoyed
да,
it.
принять
Yeah,
участие
I
в
enjoyed
разговоре.
participation
Спасибо
in this
большое
project.
вам.
Thank you
Мы
so
все-таки вот
much.
хотели бы попросить
But
техническую поддержку
we would like
показать
to
нам видео,
show
как
to ask
те зрители,
our
вот, которым
technical
интересна эта
support
тема, могли бы к нам
for people
подключиться и
how they can
люди
join
могут
our
зайти на сайт
project. They can go to
allatraunites.com.
allatruinites.com site.
Вот сайт,
There is our site.
и можно нажать
We can click the
кнопочку
button join
«Присоединиться», а
us,
также можно выбрать
and
свой
also
язык,
you can choose your language,
на котором
the
вы
language
говорите.
that you speak.
Есть также исламский?
Is there Icelandic? Yes, I wanted to
Ну,
say
тоже
that there
сайт
is no
переводит
such a
уже все
language yet.
волонтеры, да, участники из разных
Volunteers
стран, поэтому,
translate
возможно, в
into
ближайшем
different languages. Maybe a new
Намек
language will
поняла.
appear. So I understand your hint. Yeah.
Да.
Юлечка, спасибо вам большое, что
Julia,
вы
thank you
сегодня
so
были с
much
нами,
that
что
you were with us
поделились, да,
today, that you
частичкой себя,
shared
частичкой своего
yourself,
света,
your
вот этой
light with
информации об
us, the
Исландии. Это очень
information about
интересно.
Iceland. It
Прекрасная
was very
страна,
interesting,
и
beautiful,
да,
picturesque
спасибо вам за то, что вы
island.
Да. Спасибо
Thank you
вам
so
большое. Я же
much.
говорю, это
Thank
рассказы,
you.
картинки, это не
These
все. Вам надо
pictures and just stories
приехать, чтобы
are
полностью
not
это ощутить.
all. You really have to visit this
хочется
country
приехать, да.
to see it in
давайте
reality.
приедем.
Yes, we would like to
У
come,
вас есть человек,
and we
который
will
живет в этом
come.
заряжании.
And there is a person who lives here, so
Здорово,
join us,
спасибо.
come to us.
Больше
Thank
познакомимся,
you. It
подружимся,
was
и очень
very pleasant,
еще больше
pleasant to see you.
прекрасно, ну, всем людям, да, в мире, и подружиться со всеми.
It would be great to make friends with all people all around the globe.
Спасибо и до встречи.
Thank you,
Спасибо
and
большое.
see you soon.
Всего
Thank
хорошего.
you. All
Да,
the best.
спасибо. Да, пока.
Bye.